trying to put this as delicately as I can. How do I know you won't kill me in my sleep?
You don't know me, son, so let me explain this to you once. If I ever kill you, you'll be awake. You'll be facing me, and you'll be armed.
Hey, chalk up a win for the good guys and for social media and for the Browncoats. I'm Steve Green. This is Trifecta, and if that scene you just saw looks familiar, it might be because I showed it to you back in September when University of Wisconsin drama professor James Miller almost lost his job and nearly got brought up on charges for putting up a poster with that quote on it at his office at the university. Well, he's out of hot water, and I'm here to gloat with fellow Browncoats Scott Ott and Bill Whittle. All right, gentlemen, you know what? This is the kind of story that can only happen in the 21st century. It really is. Scott, the civil liberty group FIRE got involved in the case about the same time that we reported it. But, well, you know what? I'll let FIRE guy Greg Lukianoff tell the story.
He wrote an article for the Huffington Post, another for the Daily Caller, and FIRE launched an all-out media blitz.
This got on Gawker, this was on Reason.
And they're tweeting and retweeting and posting things.
Nathan Fillion, who's from the show, who played the actual character who said the quote. Adam Baldwin, who was from Firefly.
All right. Scott, isn't there a big story here that social media empowered the little guy to beat back Big Brother at the University of Wisconsin?
Yes, I do think that's a story, but I couldn't help but marvel at the fact that this country has gotten to such a position where our freedoms are so taken for granted that this is the big issue. A guy putting up a poster from a TV show or something on his door is the free speech issue of our day. And yet it is. It is significant. It says to the little people, you're not allowed to say as you please. You can't just put up any kind of sign you want. So it's great to see them turn the whole thing around on them and really get what's coming to the administration there.
Oh, the administration gets everything it deserves. I think I learned that from Animal House. All right, Bill, let's get a little personal for your first question. You're friends with Adam Baldwin, who played Jane on Firefly, and Casey on Chuck, which is just wrapping up its run, unfortunately. You really don't want to be on the wrong side of an issue from Adam Baldwin, do you?
No, you don't. And thank you for dropping the names so that I didn't have to.
Yeah.
You know, Adam Baldwin plays Jane on Firefly, and the same kind of action character on Chuck, and he got started on Full Metal Jacket as, you know, his mother with the machine guns, everybody's gonna die. Adam Baldwin is the most brilliantly read, erudite, philosophical man I have ever met. I have never, with the possible exception of Scott Ott, I have never met a person so well versed in founding principles. He will quote the papers that the Federalist Papers were based on. He plays these wild men, but he really, truly understands these foundational principles, and he's got a lot of courage and a lot of guts. And just to go to the social media thing super quick, Steve, yes, it's true social media had a big role here, but it's also pop culture. If this hadn't been Firefly, if he couldn't have brought the weight of the fandom and the tremendous penetration that show had as a cult hit, I don't know if he would have pulled it off. It was a case where social media swung, and the big bat was actually the pop culture.
And you know what? It might be even bigger than you think. You're going to find out with this next question to Scott, because the big heat came when science fiction and fantasy author Neil Gaiman got involved and brought along 1.6 million Twitter followers. That's when the university withdrew its complaint and raised the white flag. So, Scott, we don't have that many followers on Twitter. I think I've got 8,000, 9,000. But how do people like us, how do our viewers use this power for bigger issues? Can we?
I think we do, and I think we do it all the time, maybe without realizing it. I mean, we can't swing the kind of Twitter following that guy can, but it is that army of Davids that Glenn Reynolds wrote about in his book. It is the aggregate of all of us forwarding things and sharing things and retweeting things that can make something like this happen. And it's encouraging to see that, because now it used to be, you know, sort of only the mainstream media had a voice like this, and now together we all do.
That's a fantastic thing. And that is Scott Ott, just getting sworn in tonight as Lehigh County Commissioner. You can follow him on Twitter at Scott_Ott. Feel the power of the internet. All right, Bill, There's another clip you've got to see, and well, just
boy.
here it is.
The chief wrote that it is unacceptable to have postings that refer to killing and suggested passersby might worry that Miller would kill them.
No, this is so other side of the coin from any of that.
And it is. Bill, what struck me is that Malcolm Reynolds' quote, it wasn't about violence, it wasn't about killing. It was
Exactly.
about honor.
Yes.
Yeah, why can't a bunch of highly educated university types understand that?
Because they're not very smart people, Steve. They go into these professions to convince you that they're smart people, but they're dumb as a box of hammers. This woman probably teaches literature or something like this, probably where she came from. She cannot read a simple English sentence and determine its intent. This is the exact opposite of a sneak attack. It's the exact opposite of a campus shooter. Those are the quiet guys that nobody knows about. This is what Mal is saying in that quote is, he's saying, if you ever do anything to upset me that much, you will be warned, you will be armed, you will be standing there, you'll have a chance to retreat. We will treat you like a man. It is a profoundly well-written line. I'm sure Joss Whedon wrote it. It's just, that's him in a nutshell. That is a very conservative show. In the movie, the final speech in the end of Serenity is one of the most conservative things I've ever read, where they talk about social engineering and so on. But look, I would just add parenthetically, because I'm actually a fairly mean-spirited guy, I wonder if this ban on killing had anything to do with pro-choice statements down at the Women's Study Department.
Oh, that's the host of Afterburner, Bill Whittle, and follow him on Twitter as Bill Whittle, all one word. All right, folks, the thing to remember is the university didn't back down because they thought they were wrong, because they suddenly think they can't censor people. They backed down because it was bad PR. So with that in mind, while I join in a little victory lap, let's give the last word to Captain Malcolm Reynolds.
Yeah. That went well.